All right, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone doing today? Uh, hope you're all doing well. We are closing in on these 10 beautiful days of Dhul Hijjah. This Friday, inshallah, will be Eid, and Thursday will be a big day of fasting. Inshallah, that all of us should try and fast if we are able to, inshallah. Um, if it was a Friday where we were performing Jummah, I'd discuss maybe the topic of having Eid on Jummah and whether you're required to attend both or not, and the different opinions. But we're not even having Jummah, so that's out of the question. Most likely, we're going to have a virtual Eid, so you would continue to just pray Dhuhr at home for this Friday due to the restrictions that have been placed by our governor here in California. So let's continue where we left off yesterday, inshallah. Let me bring up yesterday's hadith, inshallah. So here we go. I left off on the point of providing food to those who are hungry. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, "Oh, taturudu anhu ju'an," or that this person feeds someone's hunger or relieves someone's hunger by giving them food. These are amongst the most beloved deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yesterday I mentioned an organization and I made a mistake. It's not Saba Foundation, it's called Insan Mission. And that's the organization that has people prepare food and then serve it to the homeless. So, and they do it here locally in Pomona and other places. So look out for Insan Mission. And the next time they do something, if you want to ever get involved with that and experience, feeding our homeless here, then just go out and spend some time with them for a couple hours. And, it will be something you'll definitely remember and feel good about doing, inshallah. In regards to hunger as well, I wanted to also mention today, we talked about feeding homeless, but also just feeding each other in general is a good deed. Calling people over for dinner or lunch or type of gathering. Obviously now gatherings restricted, that's a little tougher to do, but once this all clears up, and it will, inshallah, this will not go on forever. This is only a temporary thing. Pandemics have happened in the past, and the world has moved on and gotten stronger, and the world will do the same this time too. This is not going to hold us down. But once we do clear out, if you have the opportunity to spot someone lunch or dinner or call someone over, these are virtuous things to do. And think about it this way too. When someone comes to your house to eat, are they coming with a full stomach? More than likely, they're coming on an empty stomach because they want to take advantage of the gathering and the food that you will be offering. So in this case, you will technically be feeding someone's hunger or alleviating someone's hunger. So inshallah, these are also amongst the most beloved deeds of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, inviting other people over to your home or to other places, or if you want to spot someone's lunch or dinner outside or breakfast, whatever it may be, these are beautiful things to do. In a hadith that many of us may have heard, especially growing up, our Prophet ﷺ mentioned, أطعموا الطعام وافشوا السلام صلوا بالليل والناس نيام تدخلوا الجنة بالسلام. Feed people food and spread salams and pray at night while people are asleep and enter paradise with peace. Just simple deeds, but they are beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure you're always someone who is generous in this regard, and is always looking out for others. So with that, we'll move on to the next point in the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. And this is really remarkable. Our Prophet ﷺ mentioned, وَلَأَنْ أَمْشِي مَعَ أَخِي فِي حَاجَةٍ حَبَّ إِلَيَّ or أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ من أن أعتكف في هذا المسجد يعني مسجد المدينة أو مسجد النبوي شهرا ولأن أمشي مع أخيه في حاجة أحب إلي من أن أعتكف في هذا المسجد شهرا. And for me to walk with my brother regarding a need, meaning for me to be with another, brother or sister, whatever it may be, in regards to taking care of their need, being with them, and taking care of something that they really needed, that they were in need of, and they needed my assistance or someone's assistance, and I was there for them to help them. That is more beloved to me than me secluding myself, doing i'tikaf in this masjid. And which masjid was he referring to? Masjid al-Nabawi al-Sharif, the sacred masjid in Medina, where one salah is worth 1,000 salawat, and other narrations 50,000. The second most sacred place in Islam. He's saying, alayhi salatu wasalam, that taking care of a need of another brother is more beloved to me, that I spend my time doing that than making i'tikaf in this masjid for 1 month. Allahu Akbar. And as you know, i'tikaf is a beautiful deed that is highly rewarded, and people do it especially in Ramadan during the last 10 nights, where they, literally seclude themselves in the masjid. They pray one prayer after another, spend their whole day there. They sleep there, they eat there, and they don't leave until the end of Ramadan, till Eid. And there's a great reward for that. These people are seeking the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And, usually when you beg someone so much for something, eventually they'll give it to you. Imagine begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the merciful, the most merciful out of anyone in the world, and you begging him, his mercy, inshallah, will become incumbent upon you when you perform deeds like that. So our Prophet ﷺ is saying that it is more beloved to me than doing i'tikaf in this masjid for 1 month. Allahu Akbar. So next time your brother, really needs something, don't ignore it. Um, don't ignore it. It is something very beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And our Prophet ﷺ specifically mentioned that it is even better than doing i'tikaf in Masjid al-Nabawi for 1 month. Allahu Akbar. Let's do one more, inshallah. Here's the next part. Amongst the most beloved deeds. Remember, this hadith is discussing the most beloved deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our Prophet ﷺ then mentioned, وَمَنْ كَفَّ غَضَبَهُ سَتَرَ اللَّهُ عَوْرَتَهُ. And whoever swallows his anger, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will conceal this person's faults. And notice the word here in regards to anger. The translation mentions swallow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions this with a different word. Here it's kaffa. It could also be translated as cover. Whoever covers his anger, removes it, or tries not to show it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He mentions وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ, those that actually swallow their anger. Meaning you cannot find any sign of anger on their face. This is a quality of the muhsinin, those who are amongst the best of the best, that have the best character, amongst the excellent characters of the believers. Um, Ihsan, means to excel in something, to do something beyond what is just obligated. You exceed expectations. And the people of Ihsan always do this. So, anyway, Ihsan is a whole other subject on its own. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the Muhsineen as those who swallow their anger. So, as you all know, we all get mad for different things in life, some more often than others. But when you do get mad, try to, you know, squash that anger as soon as possible, as quickly as you can. And in fact, if you can just swallow it and let it go, um, that'll be good for you. And if you do so, our Prophet ﷺ mentions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will conceal this person's faults. Usually when we get angry, what happens? We are usually mad at a fault of someone else. We're obviously upset that someone did something, and we might even expose it during the anger. So look at the wisdom here in this hadith, that if you control yourself during anger, Allah will conceal your faults. Meaning, there are times where you might do something that might make someone else angry. And none of us like to show our faults to others. We'd like them concealed. We don't want them revealed. We don't want people knowing about all the mistakes we made. And if people did find out about all the mistakes we made, each one of us, we would not be very dignified in society, or respected, because we all make mistakes. But that's the whole um, purpose of following the sunnah here, is that when it comes to faults, you don't reveal them in regards to others. And if you were to practice this deed of swallowing your anger, Allah will make sure that your faults are concealed. He will not just conceal them, but inshallah forgive them as well. So, um, try your best to squash your anger every time. Whatever happens that irritates you, just try to calm yourself down. It only leads to good. Believe me, the things that we do out of anger, and I can tell you from my own experience, there are some things you can never take back. Some things you do to hurt someone else, or it might just be something you said, or the way you looked at someone, or just the deed you performed. You did it out of anger. Sometimes you could even ask for forgiveness, but it's very hard to bring back that same relationship again. And sometimes, people may forgive you, but they just may not want to associate with you anymore. And, they may not really like being around their company. And it's really sad. So, try to avoid doing things out of anger, because a lot of times it does lead to regret. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from our own anger, the anger within ourselves, and allow us to control our anger and not do things that will lead to His displeasure and the displeasure of His creation around us, and ruin relationships. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. So let me stop here for today, and tomorrow we'll continue a little bit more about controlling anger, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala conceals faults of those who swallow and control their anger. And then we'll continue after that with the next part of the hadith, which also elaborates more on those who control their anger. So till then, have a good night, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. We'll see you all tomorrow night. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.